Hi everyone, and welcome back to another day of us trying some Pinterest hacks in Dress to Impress. I found an amazing Pinterest hack for us to try today. It is by DTI GH Julie. So this hack is basically you're going to be dressing up as an angel and we're going to be adding a fake head looking like it's coming out of you, and it's going to be the devil. When I saw this hack, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to try to recreate this. This looks absolutely amazing. So let's get started. Okay, so first things, let me take off this outfit, and we are going to be changing our skin tone to very, very light skin tone. That's what they did for this hack. So I am going to make it just a tiny bit lighter even than the skin tone that is already in the main skin tones. Okay, I think that will work. Let me take off my face of makeup. And okay, so we are good to go now. Okay, it looks like we're going to be using a few of the new items that came out with the petal update for this hack. And first thing is we're gonna go over here and get this butterfly top. It looks like the main top is gonna be like a pearly white, kind of like that. And then the other areas, it looks like they left them the same gold tone. Okay, and I think they got the arms as well on this look. And it looks like the arms are a gold tone. And I'm gonna be using a hex code for this one. It's FFD A9E. And it looks like they kind of made it look foil. So I don't know if you can do that with this. I don't know if that made a difference. Maybe not. Maybe once we get the other arm on, it will look a little bit more out there. Okay, and then next we're gonna get this robot arm. And we're only gonna use the right arm. It looks like that's what she has in the picture. And then we need to change it to a red. So this part is supposed to be like blood. Okay, so let's make this red part darker. Okay, and then just all of the toggles are gonna be red. Okay, I think that looks good. And then next we're gonna be using the robot leg. And we're only gonna put it on the right side again. And we're gonna change it all to red. And this is supposed to look like blood as well. And okay, let's make this a little bit lighter. Okay, I think that looks right. Okay, and then she also is wearing these shoes. So we are going to toggle it to only shoes. And then for the collar, it looks like she made these shoes black. So we'll just make it look like that. Okay, and she left the gold on the shoes for the other toggle. Okay, and then next thing, she went over here and she got, it looks like this skirt is under. And we're gonna be using the red tone, making it a darker red for the blood. And then I think if you use the foil, okay, yeah. So that makes it look a little bit more like blood. That is the look we're going for. And then she uses this skirt on top of it. And she uses the hex code that we used for the gold on the arms. So let's put that in again. And then we also have to make this one foil. Okay, yes, that looks perfect. Okay, so I think we're honestly almost done with the main look. Now we just have to add a few more items, and then we have to add the part where it looks like the head is coming out of your head for the devil. So that part might be tricky. Oh, and it does look like she used the chains up here. Okay, so let's change this to only chains. Okay, yeah, that looks a little bit more right. Adds a little bit of dimension. And then let's just make sure we're not missing anything. I think now we need to get the angel hat. And okay, yeah, I think she just left it the same color. And then it looks like she put on the flower headband over here. We're gonna be changing it to gold. So let's add the same hex code. Okay, and I think she just added the gold to all of the toggles. And I'm hoping we can change it to be foil as well, because the flowers that she used looked a little bit more shiny than this. So let's see if we can do that. Ooh, okay, yeah, that definitely looks more like the picture. That looks really good. Okay, and it looks like she added some red socks as well. So we will go ahead and add those too. We're gonna make it look like that same red bloody color. Let's change it to foil. Okay, yeah, that looks right. And it looks like she has something on her wrist. Let's go take a look in here. I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm not sure where it's at. I think it might be a code item, and maybe I just don't have that one, but can you change this? Ooh, okay, I'm wondering if she moved this down on her wrist. Let's try to do that. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get it exactly how she got it. I don't think we can, so I'm not really sure what she used on her wrist, but I honestly don't think it's absolutely necessary for this hack. So we'll just move to getting some hair and our face on, and then we'll try to recreate the look like the devil is peeking out from our side. Okay, so she is using a braided hair. It kind of looks like the Elsa hair, so let's see if we can add that. Okay, it looks like this one, but honestly, like, her hair is flipped the opposite way, so I don't think you can do that. I'm not sure how she made this hair be the opposite way. I really don't know, because even this skirt, the gold skirt, I mean, it's on that part of the leg. It's like hanging over the left side of the leg in the picture, so I really don't know how she did that. So let's just try a different hairstyle, and I'm sure we can find one that looks fine, and we could, you know, just use a different look where it still looks okay, and we're still doing the same outfit hack, just with a little bit different of hair. Let's see if this hair will look okay. It kind of has that look of waviness on the side of your shoulder, so it's kind of giving that same look. And let's change it to a more blonde tone, because that's what she used for her outfit. Okay, I think that's looking kind of like the same tone as she used. Let's make this one a little bit lighter too. I think that looks fine. Not the same, but it's giving a little bit of the same idea. Okay, and let's put a face on. It looks like she's using a crying face. Now, let's see. I'm not sure if it's custom makeup or not, so let's check over here with the faces and see if there's a crying one that it looks like she used. Okay, so I don't know. I don't think it's this face, but it's very, very similar. It's giving that same look. So let's try to get the same face that she did using custom makeup. Okay, and we're looking for really big eyes, kind of like the Nelly eyes. Okay, let's try these eyes. Okay, and we'll make them green. Do a little bit lighter. That looks a little bit unnatural. More maybe of a yellowy green tone. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now for the eyebrows. We're needing eyebrows that kind of point up to make it look like you're sad and you're crying. Okay, I think that looks fine. Let's try to make it a light brown. Okay, let's try to find the lips that she used. She kind of has a mouth that's open. Ooh, it kind of looks like these lips. Yeah, I think those are the lips that she used. All right, now let's go for a nose, and then we can add the tears as well. That nose looks similar enough. Okay, are the tears and eyeshadow? I can't remember. I feel like I don't use the tears very often for outfits. I mean, there's these. Are these the only tears? Ooh, okay. I don't think she has black tears, so maybe I'm missing them. Ooh, okay, I found them. Okay, that's what she used. Okay, and I don't think she used any type of contouring or anything. Her face looks very, very pale. I mean, we could maybe try to add that. I mean, that looks fine. Okay, next we need to create the hack where you're having a head come out from beside your head where it's the devil look. So let's go in here. It looks like she used something to go around her neck. Now, I did try to figure this out before I started recording, just to figure out what the heck was beside her neck, because I had no clue. And I think it looks like this hat, and you have to bring it down to here. And I think you have to make it a little bit smaller, because I think that's a little bit too big. Okay, so let's try to move it over. We'll move it to the side. Okay. I think we need to move it maybe back just a tiny bit more. Okay, let's try to move it over. Ooh, let's see. Maybe over that way, okay. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe we need to make it a little bit bigger. All right, and let's try to move it over. Okay, I think that looks kind of like the right spot. So let's make it red. We'll make it dark and we'll make it foil. Okay, I think that looks pretty good how we have it. If you see this and you're like, no, she does not use this hat, she absolutely used something else, please let me know in the comments. But I could not figure anything else out, so this is what I went with. There may be other hats that you could possibly use or something else, but this looks like the most like her picture. All right, and next we have to create a head that's gonna go right here. So I think we use the beanie. I did not test this part out, so it's gonna be maybe a little difficult, we'll see. Let's try to bring the beanie over, okay, and we'll bring it down. We definitely need to bring it back a lot more. Okay, now let's try to rotate it. Okay, yes, like that. That actually looks pretty good. Let's try to rotate it to where, can we rotate it? Oh no, we can't. Okay. I don't know if this looks like too big of a head. Maybe we need to make it a little bit smaller. Let's try that. Okay, my problem is it's just going sideways and I don't think we can fix that part. So we may need to try a different hat. I don't know. Let's take a look. Like, did she use this one? Let's try a different hat really quick just to see if it looks a little bit better. Let's try this one. It's kind of giving a little bit more round shaped. So let's move this over. We'll move it down. Okay, and let's try to rotate it. Oh, wrong tab. Okay, let's try to rotate and rotate forward. Okay, let's try to reposition this so it goes backwards. Okay, that may actually look a little bit better like that. So let's try it. Let's maybe scale it down just a tiny bit. Okay, yeah, that actually looks more like a head shape. So, okay, let's change it to that same red tone. We're gonna make it foil. I feel like in this case, the foil looks very maybe out of place. So is there a different thing we could use? Not so. No. I don't think the metallic works. Not the glitter. No, I think really the only thing that works is the foil. I don't know if that looks maybe a little off, but we're just gonna roll with it. I mean, that's fine. It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe blood dried on its face? I don't know. So let's go get some hair and we'll have to move it over onto that fake head. Okay, it looks like she used some long hair. It may be straight. Let's look at the straight hair. I think it might have been this hair. So let's get up and we will move it over to the fake head that we're using. Okay, so let's move it over and let's kind of like, let's move it back. Okay, yeah. Oh gosh, it needs to go so much further back. All right, now let's rotate it to where it's kind of like tilting because we're trying to look like we're peeking from the side. Okay, I think we need to maybe scale it up a little bit. All right, now we need to move it over a little more. Using this to move your pieces sometimes is difficult. Okay, we may need to shrink the head. Ooh, gosh. Or maybe rotate it a little more. Or maybe we need to move it forward. Let's maybe move it down a tiny bit. Okay, that's a little too much. Let's try to move it forward. Okay, now, and I think what she maybe did was use some bangs to cover up this part right here. So let's try that and see how it looks before we try to mess with it anymore. We also need to change the hair to a black color. Okay, and then, yes, I think that looks like the picture. Let's put on some bangs. Okay, I don't know if she actually used bangs or if she used a hairstyle where you could toggle the bangs off. That might be what she used. It kind of looks like this hairstyle. Ooh, so yeah, maybe she used both of those. Can you change it to only bangs? Oh, yes, okay. So we will move this over. Yeah, that actually, I feel like that's gonna work. We need to move it backwards. Ooh, okay, yeah, that's actually working. I think that might be a good spot for it. We might need to rotate it slightly. Let's try that. Okay, let's change the hair color. For the pink, it needs to be black. Oh my gosh. Okay, for the pink, I actually think it needs to be a little bit of a lighter color, kind of like the hair has on the back part. I think that might look okay. Now, I think it's looking fine, but we need to move the hat over just very slightly, I think. So hopefully we can move it over. Okay, let's try, okay, not up. Okay, yes, that actually, I think that works. Can we rotate it slightly forward? I don't know. Okay, I think that's as good as we're gonna be able to get it. Now we need to add some eyelashes. So let's go into the changing room and get the eyelashes on. Okay, so here are the eyelashes. Now we need to move them over onto this face. Okay, I think that might be how they had it. I feel like it looks very strange, to be honest, but I think that's as good as I'm gonna be able to get it. They also added a flower crown, it looks like, and it looks like they added the horns. So let's add the horns, and we're gonna have to move the horns over to this other head. Ooh, okay, yeah. Let's try, we gotta move them backwards. Okay, let's make them black. Okay, yeah, that looks right. Now it looks like they also have a flower crown on their head, but I don't know, I don't think you can add 2 flower crowns. So honestly, I don't know how they did that. Let's go look. Oh, actually, oh, okay, this up here actually has the spikes taken off of it. What? That is so cool. The spikes are taken off of this flower crown up there. And great, I reached the max item limit. Is there anything that we could take off? Oh no. I'm thinking the socks aren't absolutely necessary. I'm gonna take those off. Okay, so this flower crown, I can't, oh, no spikes. Okay, maybe I just missed that before. Okay, that's funny. So let's bring it over here, and we need to move it backwards. Maybe back a tiny bit more. Yeah, that looks right. And let's just change the color to the red tone, and we will make it the foil look. Let's make it a little bit lighter red. That's very dark. Okay, we'll make this the foil look, and let's just go ahead and change the leaf colors to red too, and we'll do foil. So I think that might be the look done. I think the problem is the head doesn't look like it's coming out from this hat. So let me try to move it over a little bit just to see if I can get it to look right. Okay, so I made the hat a little bit smaller and kind of like tilted it. So I think that looks okay, but still having a little bit of trouble with getting the head to look like it's coming out of here. Kind of wondering if the pose that she used makes it look that way a little bit more. Okay, it looks like she used the snuggle pose, and with that one, yeah, I can see how the head is a little bit more visible from the side. So maybe let's try to rotate the head just a little bit more, and maybe try to move it back a little bit behind my head, and I think we're good to go. Okay, so the head's a little bit further back. Let's do the hair. Okay, the hair is moved back. Now let's do the headpiece. Okay, I think the headpiece looks okay. Let's change the horns and move them slightly over as well. Maybe let's make them a little bit bigger too. Okay, I think that looks a little bit better. I almost forgot about the eyelashes. Okay, let me move them over. Okay, I think the eyelashes are as good as I'm gonna be able to get them. All right, and I think that's the entire look done. I don't know if I did this look justice. I don't know if I was successful in making it look as good as the picture from Pinterest, but you'll have to let me know in the comments. And I just thought this was such a cool idea. I had not seen anyone do this hack before, so when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I absolutely have to do that and try it. So let me know in the comments how you think this turned out, and if you'd like to see more of this type of video, please leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you all next time. Bye everyone.